I'm here with Dr. Matt Phillips, an OBGYN. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Sure. And you're behind a new ministry here in the River region called Life on Wheels. And basically, it's a big RV, a recreational vehicle, bringing ultrasounds to women who may not be able to afford these or have access to them. Tell me how this rolls in, what it does, and why you think it's so needed.
Yeah, I'm glad to. I'm involved with crisis pregnancy centers and have been for about 11 years. And we've noticed a really awesome trend in the last several years of using ultrasound to show that a baby has a heartbeat and it's a live baby in the womb and not just a lump of tissue. What happens oftentimes when a woman's in a crisis, she'll go to an abortion clinic and they may tell her, well, it's just cells, and then lie that it's not a live baby. What we hope to do through crisis pregnancy centers is expose that it really is a baby. Now, the reason we felt the need for Life on Wheels is oftentimes the woman who truly is considering abortion will not come to our centers. She may either feel ashamed, or she may want to just kind of sweep it under the rug, and so we're not seeing as many abortion vulnerable women as we had hoped. Now, the ministry that's happening there is beautiful because the women who come to those ministries get counseling, and they share the gospel with those women, and those women who have had abortions have the opportunity to enter into classes that help them to heal from the guilt and the pain from that. It's beautiful ministries, but we're not seeing as many abortion vulnerable women as we had hoped. Now, what this ministry does is it takes the ultrasound to the woman. And so that's what what we're seeing across the country. There's 33 of these types of units in the country, and where they have been placed, they're having a major impact in those communities where women are being able to see the truth. Frankly, if you can show a woman her baby and she can see the heartbeat, even if she has an abortion scheduled that day, 89.1% will cancel their abortion. And so
That's huge.
And the beauty of it is it's like a rescue unit. It's a paramedic truck going to the scene of the accident and rescuing victims. So it's an adjunct to what we're already doing in the brick and mortar crisis pregnancy centers.
How bad is the abortion crisis right here in the River region? Who would you say is at risk, and how often is this happening?
We have one abortion clinic here in town. We estimate they're doing probably between 15 and 20 abortions a week. And those women are oftentimes, really, it's not the woman you think it might be. It really touches all walks of life, all races, all, whether single or married, young, older women. They do these abortion centers, if you notice, they do plant their clinics close to impoverished and minority neighborhoods. So if you look at the trends across the country, and really it was the case from the very beginning of Planned Parenthood, that their goal was to limit the number of minorities. And so that's one of the tragedies of this, is that they do focus on minorities, but there's all types of women that find themselves in that crisis. I heard someone say one time, and I think it's true, that a woman does not choose to have an abortion as she would choose a new handbag or a new pair of shoes. A woman chooses to have an abortion in the same way that an animal might choose to gnaw its own leg off when it's caught in a trap.
Desperation.
So when we call them crisis pregnancy centers, they truly are in a crisis. That crisis may be that the father of the baby is uninvolved. They may be women who are abused. There may be all manner of stress and pain and crisis that brought them to that point. They may just be afraid that their life is forever changed. And then the abortion industry comes along and exploits that. they take their fear and then exploit that. Hey, we can fix this for you. When really that it never fixes it. It leaves them with guilt and shame and pain. I've sat in clinic before and asked new patients, have you ever been pregnant? And tears will come to their eyes as they tell me about an abortion they had 11 years ago. And it would be as if it happened yesterday. It just literally scars their heart. So our passion for a ministry like this is to expose these women who are in a crisis to the truth. And then refer them back to the crisis pregnancy centers that are local and minister to those women and help them through the crisis that's still there.
Well, and you stepped into what I was just thinking too, Dr. Phillips. If they were to come on this Life on Wheels, the RV, or they walked into a crisis pregnancy center and they were able to have an ultrasound, they see their baby. What is the next step? What happens for these women once they take that first crucial step? And that is, if anyone is listening and you're in that place, we would encourage you to get that ultrasound and see, as Dr. Phillips has said, the truth, see the beauty and the miracle of a new baby. But what would be the next step for them?
I like to see this ministry as a series of relationships. You know, what's the beauty of crisis pregnancy work is the women who volunteer in these centers have beautiful hearts. They're merciful, they're compassionate, they're kind. Many of them have been through it. Sometimes that motivates people to want to reach out to that woman. Some of them just have the love of Jesus and they just want to reach out and help. So first thing that happens in that situation, you develop a relationship. From the moment that woman enters the RV, she gets a relationship with the counselors. Then the counselors gain her trust. She sees the ultrasound. 89% of them change their mind. Then we have the opportunity, because there is still a crisis. And you know, most of us who come to know Christ come to Christ in a crisis. I know I was in a crisis when I prayed to receive Christ, and it's a time when you're broken. And the Bible says the sacrifices of God are a broken and contrite heart. So we have a woman who's broken, and it's a great time to tell her about the one that can fix her. And so we share the gospel in a gentle and compassionate way. We look for that open door. If the door's not open, we don't pry it open. We just look for the opportunity to share. Then we refer her back to the centers where she will then have the opportunity to enter Earn While You Learn classes where they teach her how to be a mom. We give her, show her all of our options. You know, the adoption is a beautiful choice, and for many women that is the best choice, and we help her with that. If she has made the mistake, let's say a woman comes on, it's not uncommon that a woman comes, has an ultrasound, still has the abortion, but then they come back. And we've always wondered, well, why do they come back? Because we begged them not to have the abortion. They come back because they felt loved while they were there. And then when they come back, we plug them in I think it's a 10-week post-abortion counseling program that helps them heal. And so relationships happen. And then the beautiful thing is these women who keep their baby and parent, they'll bring the babies back year after year after year. And if you talk to anybody that works at these centers, that's what gets them excited, is the relationships that develop. And
you find a family, basically.
You know, there was a particular day a young teenager came, and she was pregnant, unintended. She was there with her boyfriend and her parents, who were obviously distraught. They were pretty much bent on having an abortion, but they wanted to come and confirm that she was pregnant first. They were visibly angry with the young man, and understandably. A lot of tears. The girl was crying, mom was crying. We took them downstairs and showed them the ultrasound. When they came back up, all of them were crying. Dad, mom, young man. They kept the little baby. 9 months later, I delivered the child and presented the baby to the pretty happy waiting room. And then she remained my patient, and the two got married, ultimately had a second kid. And when I came out to announce the birth of the second child, the First kid was there in the waiting room, and by this time she was 3 years old. And I looked at the father, who was so angry at the first visit, and I said, "How do you like that little girl?" And he teared up and clutched her closer to me. He said, "I love this little girl." And it just displayed the power of the ultrasound. Because that one picture turned the whole situation around.
You can help bring Life on Wheels to the River Region by attending the Life on Wheels Gala at Fraser United Methodist Church Friday, February 5th at 6 p.m. For more information, go to lifeonwheelsmontgomery@gmail.com.